Hi there, coming to you with a book collection. I'm wanting to do this for a while. I have a bunch of awesome book collections. I have a lot of Hunter S. Thompson books. Would love to go through that. Stephen King, I have tons of them. What I'm going to do is do one Stephen King collection just focused on hardcover. This will be that one. And then another one which will deal with soft covers and his son Joe Hill's books. And then I'll do one on just some random books that I have. But anyways, let's just jump right into it. Start things off. Here's Stephen King and Peter Straub collaboration, The Talisman. I haven't read this book. There's a sequel to it called The Black House. I'm working on a deal. I have Black House on softcover. I have a few other books that I've upgraded, and I'm making a deal with a trade to trade with a friend of mine for the sequel to this. So once I get them both, I'm probably going to read through them. Apparently it's really, really cool. But yeah, there's The Talisman. A rare collaboration, at least not a whole novel wise, of Stephen King. Here's a really cool one, the Bachman Books. It's 4 early novels by Stephen King. Bachman was his what is that called, pseudonym. So yeah, this one has Rage, The Long Walk, which is a really good book. Rage is quite I think it got banned because it's like about some kid who like takes this whole class hostage. It's pretty hardcore. Roadwork and The Running Man, which is based, they've made that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So yeah, the Bachman book here, really cool. And then an awesome introduction on why I was Bachman. So that's pretty cool. And here is 4 Past Midnight. This is a really good one. It has 4 novellas in it. Let's just show you. Good lord. There's a lot of introduction here. So yeah, this one has The Langoliers, which is not a good book in my opinion, or a good movie. Secret Window, Secret Garden, which is awesome, but I actually like the movie better, which is rare for Stephen King books and or adaptations. Really cool movie that got turned into with a David Koepp directed movie with Johnny Depp. The Library Policeman, really good story, and The Sundog. So yeah, that's 4 Past Midnight. Really cool collection here. There's old Stevie right there. So yeah, moving right along. This is one that I got just given to me. This dude who lives in my apartment knows that I like Stephen King books, and he had like a nice little bag filled with hardcovers, and he just like, yeah, you can have them. My mom doesn't want them anymore. I was just like, okay. And inside that bag was one I never thought I'd get, and that is The Stand, uncut and complete edition on hardcover. Awesome, awesome stuff. Like, look at that mother. There's Stevie right there. How many pages is this? Like over 1,000. Yeah, about 1,200 pages or so, maybe a little under that. But yeah, The Stand, classic book. I really like the mini-series. It's definitely not as good as the book. And one of these days I'm going to sit down and reread through it again. It's an investment. Right now I'm actually reading it, and I've taken a break because it's just so big. But I will be finishing it up very soon. Here is Stephen King, The Dark Half. Pretty interesting book. This guy with like 2 different personalities going on. I don't really need to show you anything inside. There's old Steve, his whole face in the back there. Pretty cool. The Dark Half. That was a movie. Who's in that one? I can't remember. I think John Lithgow. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure I've seen it. Oh, I think I watched it on YouTube a couple years ago. Anyways, the Tommyknockers. Not a really good mini-series. And it's an okay book. But yeah, but this like alien sort of craft that this town finds buried in their backyard sort of deal. But yeah, here's the Tommyknockers. I got this so cheap at a thrift store for like it was either $1 or $2, but I'm pretty sure it was $1. There's old Stevie again. But yeah, I don't like to spend a ton on these. I think my limit for anyone, except for some of the, like if I ever find The Shining on hardcover, they got me by the balls. I'll probably pay whatever they want. Same with It. But yeah, moving right along. But usually I like to stick to a budget of about $10 maximum. I'd love to pay less than that, but I try and pick them up for a reasonable price. Here's Dolores Claiborne. Really cool book. I read this and it's just so cool because it's just like a testimony. There's no chapters, there's no nothing, it just keeps going. And it's fucking really good. The movie's good, but I really enjoyed the book a little bit better. And it's tied in. So what's going on in these two books is like each main character kind of has a flash, like a psychic connection to one of the main character in Geralds Game. Has flashes of Dolores Claiborne, spoiler, killing her husband, and Dolores has flashbacks of what's happening to the main character in Gerald's Game. And Gerald's Game is a really cool one. It's about this husband and wife, and they go out to like this cabin and kind of in the middle of nowhere where no one's ever going to be around, and they have like a sex game that goes awry, and this woman's left to figure out how to get out on her own for like days. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, this one's really good. I enjoyed this one too. I read it very fast. But yeah, what's Stevie look like on the back? I think we've seen that on another one. Did I show? I love the pictures that you see on the back. You kind of see him go through his phases here. Yeah, that's Dolores Claiborne and Gerald's Game. Both are great novels. Needful Things. This is one I've never read. I've had it for quite a while actually. I think I don't think I got that in that book. That with the stand there. I think that's a different one. But here's Needful Things, the last Castle Rock story. Yeah, I definitely need to read this. From what I can tell, I think it's like Satan comes into this little city, or something like, or this little town in Castle Rock. I can't remember exactly what it was about. No picture on the back, just a cool, well, there's a picture, it's just a blacked out building. But no Steve. Well, maybe in the inside booklet or whatever. Show that some other time, maybe next time. I really wish I could get every Stephen King book on hardcover. That'd be so awesome, but I don't know if it'll ever happen. I'll definitely be searching for quite a while. But here's Rose Matter, pretty cool. But this woman who's making this painting. And apparently this one's connected to the Dark Tower series. I still haven't read the Dark Tower. It just seems like such an investment. I know. Stephen King enthusiasts, they're probably like, dude, I have a friend who's read everything by Stephen King like multiple times, and he's like, man, you need to get on Dark Tower. It makes every book that he's ever made even better. Just like they're all part of this universe or something. It just seems like such an investment. One day, maybe after I collect them all on hardcover, I'll sit down and read them. But for now, I stick mostly to his novels, like standalone novels. They're really good. And a lot of them do have little shout-outs and Easter eggs, connected characters. There's a really big shared universe in the Stephen King universe. Here's Misery. I actually just got this today. Really cool cover here. Hopefully that comes across. Paul Sheridan's sitting there at the window, and Annie's sitting there in the shadow. I got this today. My boss, I just ran into him, and he's like, hey, I got something for you in my truck. And apparently he knows I collect these, and apparently he had this book since it came out, and he never thought about it, and he was cleaning out his room and he found it, so he just gave it to me. This book is awesome. And the movie is fantastic. What's her name? Kathy Bates is just amazing in that movie, but the book is even more fucking hardcore than the movie is. And yeah, so if you want to read a really not an easy read, but a very accessible read, check out Misery. Look at him on the back there. It's a wicked picture. But yeah, that's Misery. Great book. I love that book. One of my favorites. The Dead Zone. Pretty good book. Everyone knows what the Dead Zone's, right? The guy who has the accident and he wakes up and he can see the future when people touch him. Pretty awesome. And he goes through a bunch of different times, but it ends with like him trying to stop this assassination plot. It's pretty awesome. This one here, I love this little book here. It's a very short book. I don't even think it's 300 pages, maybe. But it's called The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, and it's about this little girl who gets separated from her bickering family on a nature trek. She ends up lost in the woods, and all she has is her little radio to keep her company, and it's just awesome, just kind of watching as this little girl survives in the woods for days and days and days. So, The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. Definitely read this one if you want something smaller to start with Stephen King. And yeah, I don't know if there's a picture of him. Yeah, there he is. He's calling out a homer. Yeah, now we get into the more recent Stephen King books. Here's Bag of Bones. This was one of the first Stephen King books I ever read. It was really good. It's about this dude who loses his wife, and as time goes by, he realizes she was spending a lot of time at this cabin that they own together, and he goes there to kind of figure out what the hell she was spending all this time there for, and you get this whole like awesome like ghost story thing going on that unravels as he spends time there figuring out what she was doing. And it's a really good book. They made a miniseries out of this with Pierce Brosnan. I thought that was really good too. I'd like to get that one day on DVD. But anyways, that's Bag of Bones here. A haunted love story. Really cool dust sleeve on this one. I like it a lot. Here's another one. This is a pretty awesome book about an alien sort of invasion thing that starts in this like forest, this snowy forest. And it's pretty awesome. The movie's great too, but I really like the book a lot. Pretty awesome art too as well. But yeah, there's that. Awesome Dreamcatcher. Try and kind of bust through the rest of these here. Liza's Story. Got this real cheap at a Goodwill or whatever you'd call that. But yeah, really cool slip here. And the book itself, like the hardcover, is really cool. Usually, most of the hardcovers from him are just like black or red or blue, but this one's really got a cool, sorry about this, a really cool design to it. But yeah, Liza's Story. And again, it's about a wife who loses a husband, and this one's kind of hard to explain what's going on exactly. It's like this mindscape sort of deal. But yeah, interesting read. I read that pretty quick, and I think Stephen King really likes this book himself. He really enjoys that one a lot. Here's Doom King. I love this book. It's about this old kind of curmudgeon construction worker who loses an arm, I think. It's been a long time since I read this. He loses his arm and he moves to like this beach house to paint. He learns to paint, and it helps him like deal with everything, the loss, the pain, all that shit. And when he paints things, when he's just chilling there, he starts, I think he paints it. I'm pretty sure he paints this mural, and like this, like it's kind of like a demon working through him, and it's like the sea demon. It's hard to explain, and I don't want to say too much in case you haven't read it or you want to, because that would kind of spoil it. But it's very, very interesting and awesome artwork on the sleeve. Stephen King's Doom King, Doom Key. Sorry, I need to give that one a reread because I really enjoyed it. This is Stephen King's zombie novel. It's pretty awesome. It all stems from like this cell phone signal. And man, when this book like picks up, it really picks up. Not the strongest ending, but whatever. It is what it is. Pretty cool. I really like that picture on the back there. I think it's not even a picture. I think it's an art, like painting. So there's that. This got turned into a really good mini-series from Hulu and J.J. Abrams. But yeah, JFK slain in Dallas. It's 11/22/63, and it's about this dude who, through some things that happen, he ends up finding like a time bubble, warp, whatever you'd want to call it. He can pretty much walk through this wall, and he ends up in 1960. Actually, not 1963. I think it's like a couple years before that. And he goes there. And this guy who introduces him to the time portal has tried a few times, and he kind of convinces him that if JFK was never assassinated, the world would be so much better. So he goes ahead and tries to stop the JFK assassination, trying to look into Oswald and all that stuff. It's a really cool book, and it kind of like he goes back a few times. He like fucks things up. He meets this girl Sadie, falls in love with her in the past. This one is excellent. And here is the sequel to The Shining, Doctor Sleep here. Really cool book. I hear they're turning this into a book or something. But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's about this young girl who also has The Shining, I think. And Danny, from the little boy from The Shining's all grown up, and he kind of helps her as like these vampires who like suck psychic energy out of you or something like that. I can't remember. I read this very fast, and honestly, I don't remember a ton about it. But I'm pretty sure I really did enjoy it. There's a one part, and like all the vampires are like these old, like RV travelers. It's pretty cool. So if you like The Shining, you definitely should check this out. It's definitely not as good as The Shining, but it's cool in its own regard. Here's Revival. Really enjoyed this book about this preacher who is obsessed with lightning and kind of like the work of what's his name? As if Telsa. That's it. And really cool book. This is a newer book. It came out like maybe 2 years ago with that, and I really enjoyed this. And like about these characters, they just keep running into each other throughout time. So yeah, it's pretty cool. It spans like multiple decades. Get in there, you. Here is Mr. Mercedes and the sequel, Finders Keepers. Really looking forward to End of Watch. It's coming out this year in June, and this is a trilogy. Well, it will be a trilogy. And the first one's about this like murderous psycho who kills this like he tries to kill this whole crowd of people using a Mercedes, and he like just drives into them at this job fair. And years go by, the people who are investigating could never find him, and the main investigator retires, and after that he starts getting letters from this guy who's claiming to have done it, old Brady, and it's all about him trying to track him down, and it's just crazy. This book is very dark, and it's got some really rich characters. The sequel, not quite as good, but I like how it's kind of its own thing. It's like a different story that just kind of includes a lot of the main characters from Mr. Mercedes, and then at the end it really ties it together, and it builds up for the third one. So really good book. Love these artworks on the covers there in the back. And here is Nightmare and Dreamscapes. The last three here are like short story compilations. Nightmare and Dreamscapes, really cool. There's so many in here. Go through them, I guess, real quick. If it can be real quick. Yeah, introduction, Dolan's Cadillac, The End of the Whole Mess, Suffer the Little Children, The Night Flyer, Popsy, It Grows on You, Chattery Teeth, Dedication, The Moving Finger, Sneakers, You Know They Got a Hell of a Band, Home Delivery, Rainy Season, My Pretty Pony, Sorry Right Number, The 10 O'Clock People, Couch End, The House on Maple Street, The Fifth Quarter, Doctor's Case, Omni's Last Case, Head Down, Broken August, and then Notes. I really enjoy his short stories. They're just fantastic, and they're like nice, short, easy reads. You can just kind of get through one in one sitting. A lot of the time. Sometimes they're actually they're not actually as short as you'd think. But here's another one, and this one is Just After Sunset. This one wasn't amazing, but there's still some good to be had in it. Willa, The Gingerbread Girl, Harvey's Dream, Rest Stop, Stationary Bike, The Things They Left Behind, that one's really good. Graduation Afternoon, and another really good one, The Cat from Hell, I like that one. New York Times at the Special Bargain Rate, Mute, Ayana, and A Very Tight Place. And this one's Just After Sunset. I got this for Christmas a couple years ago now. And the newest short story compilation, which is fucking dope. A lot of the stories are pretty awesome and dark and whatnot, is the Bazaar of Bad Dreams. Just look at that cover art. And it's actually like a matte finish, which I don't think I've seen any of his books like that. But 11/22/63 is kind of like that, but yeah, this one's got some really cool books or stories in it. Like, look at that back art; it's just awesome. And like, I read this one at a nice pace. I didn't power through it because a lot of the times when you do that, you just don't remember it that well. But this one's got some killer short stories in it. There's one that's just fantastic. Mile 8, Premium Harmony, Batman and Robin have an altercation. That one's pretty funny. The Dune, Bad Little Kid, A Death, A Bone Church, Morality, Afterlife, which I love that book. Short story. Fantastic. That one's cool too. There's one, I think it's in this one, where this dude gets like this haunted Tinder, or no, not a Tinder. Tinder's like a dating site or something. What is it called? Like a thing you read books on Amazon. I can't remember. But anyways, A Death, Bad Little Kid. I think I said that. The Bone Church, Morality, Afterlife. Yeah, I've said all these. Herman Wouk is still alive. Under the Weather. That one's pretty cool. Blockade Billy, Mr. Yummy, Tommy. The Little Green God of Agony. That Bus is Another World. Or Obits, that one's really cool. Drunken Fireworks and Summer Thunder. I highly recommend this one. If you like his short stories and you haven't picked this up yet, definitely get on it, because this one's fucking great. It's no Skeleton Key or Crew, sorry, or what was the other one? You'll see it, my soft covers anyways. But yeah, that is my hardcover collection of Stephen King so far. Like I said, I'd love to get them all. And there's my, unfortunately, empty bottle of Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull vodka. But it's a nice bookend anyways for Stephen King. But yeah, as you can see, got a nice little collection of Stephen King hardcovers. But it's not enough. I want them all in hardcover. So yeah, check back later for my next book collection video. And I hope you enjoyed. Till next time, as always, be easy.